Hey everyone, it's Kate with Bookkeeping Side Hustle. This video is going to be an update to the review I have of the Bookkeeper Launch course. Just like my previous video from the summer of 2019, this is going to just basically walk through my blog article, but I know some people it's easier to listen than to read, so I'm just going to walk through it. So yes, Bookkeeper Launch. This is a course to take if you want to run and not walk or stumble your way into starting your own virtual bookkeeping business. It is definitely geared for people who want to be business owners, not just trying to get a bookkeeping job. So this is the course I took to start my own virtual bookkeeping business. I am a virtual bookkeeper. I detail my journey in the Bookkeeping Side Hustle guidebook. If you'd like to get a copy of that, it's at bookkeepingsidehustle.com/bookkeeping guidebook, and you can learn kind of how I built my business, what my business looks like there. I'm a successful student from Bookkeeper Launch. I made my purchase in April 2017, probably got paid about August 2017, and this has been great for me and for my family. Also, wanted to point out that I do have a special discount code for $200 off the Bookkeeper Launch course. If you reach out to me at bookkeepingsidehustle@gmail.com, I can get you that code. So if you're willing to make an investment, this is a great course. This is priced at $2,999 if you get the Premier version, or $1,999 if you get the Pro version. There's also 12-month pay options for both of those. And I always recommend that people watch the 3 free videos, definitely before purchasing, but also even if you know you're not going to purchase this course, it's just a great way to learn the bookkeeping industry is all about. You can check out the course syllabus. I have a link for it here in this article, and there's also a frequently asked questions page. I also want to point out that I do have a course comparison chart. Bookkeeper Launch is not the only way to go. And so on this article, if you click this button right here, we're going to talk about what we learn in the course, the favorite parts of Bookkeeper Launch, my favorite parts, what happens right after you purchase, what resources they have for success. There's a lot. Then there's lots of add-ons that you get, and you get access to them early on. So what do you learn in this course? You learn accounting. This course definitely teaches accounting fundamentals, and I always stress that you must learn accounting fundamentals if you're going to be a bookkeeper. Some people try to say otherwise, and I just disagree. I think that you're going to get into a big mess quickly if you don't learn how to do basic accounting. You don't have to go to college for 4 or 5 years, but you have to study accounting, and Bookkeeper Launch teaches you that. Assets equals liabilities plus owner's equity. Debits must always equal credits. How do the balance sheet, income statement, and cash flow statement talk to each other? Yeah, so some of you might be CPAs or EAs listening to this, or you majored in accounting, and you're thinking like, oh, I already have all this training. And if that's the case, that's fine. But there's a lot of people in Bookkeeper Launch who have those credentials, who are glad that they took this course. It was good to go back and get those fundamentals, because you might be serving some businesses where you need to really think through just those basic fundamentals, how the financial statements talk to each other, and how to do journal entries, things like that. It's always good for a refresher. It teaches you bookkeeping software. Currently, it's taught in QuickBooks Online. When I first started, the course was taught in Xero, actually, but the course's instruction is in QuickBooks Online. You open a free trial to work through all the problems, and you'll become pretty good at QuickBooks Online. You don't have to only build your business in QuickBooks Online. People do build their business in Xero, but the instruction that you'll be watching, like the videos that are recorded, are in QuickBooks Online. You'll learn how to start a business. You have to learn how to be good at all the things related to being in business, not just learning how to do accounting and clicking around in a bookkeeping software. So this course will teach you all of that, the marketing, how to build a website, all that. The checklists and such are some of the examples of ways that it teaches you how to build a business. So these are all your processes that you're going to have. Like when you get that first client, how are you going to bring them on? How are you going to have monthly debriefs with them? That sort of thing. So this is just an example of some of the templates, some of the checklists that come. There's a pricing calculator. You have to be able to come up with a price whenever you're talking with a prospect. There's also some advanced content. When you complete the 5 sections, you get access to even more. And I think that's a good thing. Sometimes when you buy a course, but if you're brand new and you don't know what to do, to have too much information can kind of be overwhelming and you can get paralyzed. So they really walk you through exactly what you need to do, and so you don't get access into this more advanced content until you collect all 5 stars. This is an example of my, this picture right here is an example of my own portal where I have the 5 stars. And I will, let me just dive in here and I'll show you what it looks like behind the scenes. So this is what it looks like when I log in. Like I said, I am an actual student. I have received my 5 stars. One of the things that was interesting was the BBL certificate of completion that you see right here. So when I first started the course, they didn't have that. So I actually had to go back and take this. It was probably about 2 years into my business, and I actually wanted to do it. I kind of stalled. I hadn't gotten any new clients recently, and I knew that going through it would be a good refresher for me. I also wanted the badge, and you have to take a proctored exam. You do it from your home, but it's through like a testing agency, and you can get an official certificate of completion. And I just wanted that for my own benefit. So this is what the instruction portal looks like, y'all. You can see I haven't done all of them. This is the advanced. Sorry, this is just some of the marketing advanced stuff. I haven't had to do a lot of this. I've watched some of the videos, but I haven't completed all the things in each of these sections. That's why the bars aren't green. This bonuses, I think this is what, nope, this is the 5-star content. That's what you get whenever it shows up whenever you get your 5 stars. So you can just kind of see how this all flows. You go back here. The website challenge, that was something he recently did to help you get through building your website. The Premier coaching would be what you have access to if you get your, if you pay for the Premier version instead of the Pro version. I'll show you these live Q&A recordings really quickly. I'm going to mention them later in the blog article. So here's an example. So see here, we got July through September 2020. These are the current weekly client Q&As that every student gets access to. So this is just one of the ways they have to support you, but every Wednesday you can get on, and then you can also go back and listen to all of these videos. If you are folding clothes, just pop on one of these and listen, and you'll get a lot of information from students just like you who have the same questions as you. So this is what the portal looks like, y'all. Obviously there's a lot of stuff within each one of these sections, so you can go much deeper into this once you buy the course. Yes, so I talked about the certificate of completion. That's optional. It was important to me. I like tests. I think they help build confidence. You can prove it to yourself that you know the material. There's a lot of head games in being an entrepreneur, and passing that test is just going to make you feel good. I also think that people who want a course that has exams are just a special kind of people. They're willing to put their neck out there, and that's who you're going to be be a student with, is people like that. Here's some examples of people who have said that they were able to get certified and how they struggled through correcting their mistakes, and just like this gal says, I could cry, I'm so happy. I think that's a pretty common just refrain about people are glad they took the test. So my personal favorite parts about Bookkeeper Launch, you get updates for life. So once you're in, you're in. This is not a subscription-based model. It's a one-time purchase, and then you get access to everything, and then you also get access to everything in the future. So this, it's really buying more like a full program rather than buying like a product. It's constantly improving. This picture right here is what the old version of their teaching portal looked like, and then you can see what it looks like now, and that's just an example of how he's not satisfied with mediocrity and the status quo. He's always going to be looking to improve. The co-workers. So the Facebook group that we have access to, which you get access to for life. These people are going to be kind of like your coworkers. Entrepreneurship, when you're doing the sort of solopreneur method, can be pretty lonely. Some people definitely go on to build big businesses, but there's a lot of folks who are solo operators doing this, and it's nice to have friends and people you can bounce questions off of. And I think it gives you just an advantage that you don't get if you try to DIY getting into this field. And yes, you can, there's resources out there. You can watch free YouTube videos, you can buy books to learn accounting, all that sort of thing, but you won't get the community that you get when you get with Bookkeeper Launch. The cheerleading, you definitely get cheerleading. Lots of people post stuff where they ask for advice or support just on, not on the technical things about accounting or about how to do something in a software, but the softer side of things, and you'll have lots of support there. Diverse student population, I think this is really cool. There's tech people, there's military people, there's men and women who've been through some rough times, and Bookkeeper Launch is how they are going to turn their life around. There's college students, there's people who have no background in accounting, like hairdressers, there's people with a lot of background in accounting, there's people from all over the world. One of my other favorite parts was how to build a website, so that's how I built my own, and I had never done anything like that ever, and was able to get a website built that I'm pretty proud of. They have niche subgroups, so this is just some. What do I have listed here? Okay, real estate, nonprofit, construction, e-commerce, cannabis, there's Canadians. There's also a lot of subgroups for lots of geographies, not just Canada. There's people who use BNI, there's people who are living out of an RV, and so these niche subgroups you get access to. And then there's lots of ones for all the geography, mostly in the US. There's, like we have one from the part of Virginia that I'm from, of BBL students. I will also mention my friend Chris. He's one of the favorite parts as well. He's basically my mentor in building my business, and I had the opportunity to meet him because we were both BBL students. He's got a much larger practice. I do some subcontracting for him as well, and it's been a real blessing to be able to have found him. We just kind of hit it off because we were both from the same area, and we are not the only pair that has done something like this where they've just really become each other's friends as well as professional colleagues. So after you purchase BBL, you're going to get access to the Facebook group, which is worth the price of admission. You'll download the 90-day success plan. That's what I suggest doing next. It can be overwhelming once you get inside, so starting with the 90-day success plan is really the best way to get going. And you can take a peek at what the 90-day success plan looks like here via this link. Resources for success. So once you buy the program, you are in for life. You get access to support. I think it's 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. that there is email support, and their average turnaround time is very short. I think the last that I saw reported was 72 minutes, but they get back to you quickly. There's also live calls on Wednesday where they're staffed by different people. Sometimes they'll bring on a guest expert like a lawyer or a marketer or something like that, but then there's always people who know QuickBooks and accounting that are fielding those calls, and it's recorded and everyone's getting to hear everyone else's questions being asked. So lots of support. The 90-day success plan, I think, is a great support tool because you know exactly what to do when you wake up the next morning and get started. Lots of add-ons, so you get access to lots of add-ons. So for example, there's additional courses that you can take. There's Tax Biz Launch. There's also the bookkeeper.com store, which has different products. There's like a little cybersecurity module, different things, and you can get access to all this stuff early and usually for a discount. Bookkeeper Elite is for the people who want to grow very large practices. So that's just the good thing. He kind of takes care of his own first. And then I would like to just point out, we have a lot of testimonials here. Go ahead and check those out if you want to hear someone else's opinion. And that's all. If you have any questions, please reach out, bookkeepingsidehustle@gmail.com. And I will be happy to answer any questions, and definitely ask questions by tagging me in the Facebook group, the Bookkeeping Side Hustle group on Facebook. All right. Good luck in your choice.